Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. Today is March the 14th, 2024. This is an update video with regards to Kate Middleton, and I am going to summarise where we are at, and I'm also going to share some new pieces of the jigsaw that I've been given over the last 24 hours, and I hope that it helps calm the waters. I'm doing this before I'm about to go away on holiday, so if new developments happen before Easter, I probably will not be able to respond to them, but this is where we're at as of the 14th. To be honest, I'm only coming on to do an update because it has been requested by so many of you. And also thank you to the people that really get my work and what I'm trying to do with this whole story, which feels very sad as well. A few people saying thank you for helping us to level up. And that is how I feel this story. And remember, the story has real people in it. This is what's required at the moment. It's as though the story itself is an aeroplane that is careering out of control, going into a nosedive, fueled by so much gossip and speculation, and stories that are getting wilder and wilder by the day. Some also who are jumping on this bandwagon, not for the right reasons. I've seen a lot of people reporting on this who don't really have a clue about the British royal family and how it works. Who they are even, how the line of succession works, how governance in this country happens. I do think it's quite important to try to not exclusively watch people from this country, but hearing a British person talk about this subject, you're going to get a little bit more depth and richness to the context, okay? In the same way that I am not jumping on every story that's coming out of USA with regards to what's going on, for example, in your Congress, because I don't understand all the ins and outs and all the players and all the different laws and regulations you have out there. So I think it's important just to not stick to your own patch, but definitely the people that are actually here, that are understanding the mechanics of it and the history of it and the context of it, I think their voices are very needed right now. So let's get to it. Let's go back a couple of steps, shall we? Let's go back a couple of steps. The thing that set off the flare, Metatron's showing me a flare, Archangel Metatron, my guide. So like being at sea, and when a ship gets into trouble and there is a warning flare that is sent out into the sky, hopefully for a rescue boat to come, for help to come. If you follow me, that I think it was last November, I put out a video, and I was very nervous about putting it out because I hadn't seen anybody else talking about this. And it was linked into, I'd received a message about Kate and concerns about her health, linking into an eating disorder. And I was talking about Russell signs, which are the abrasions on your knuckles that you can get. The fact has been seen many, many times over the years with plasters on her fingers. There was an incident a couple of months before November where her fingers were all bandaged up, and the palace said it was a trampoline accident with her children, but there was just a lot of weird stuff going on with her. She was also starting to look very, very thin, and I thought unhealthily thin. There's a difference between healthy thin and unhealthy thin, and I felt she was looking unhealthy thin. So I put out a video, you can look back at that if you wish to, around November time. Then what happened, of course, is in the new year, we were told that she was being taken into hospital for an abdominal surgery. Nobody saw her go into the hospital, nobody saw her leave the hospital. There was also reports of an ambulance, or no, sorry, not an ambulance, a parade of cars with blacked out windows that came from one of the palaces on the 28th of December, heading towards the hospital. And the speculation was that Kate in that car at that time? Did something happen previous to when we had been told? We don't know that. I'm just paraphrasing all the stuff I've been talking about on my channel. I came back to this subject. I've done a few videos on it. What was coming through was, unfortunately, there seems to be issues with regards to the marriage. They've been married for a number of years. They've been together for a number of years. It's not uncommon for marriages to go through very difficult times. This is obviously also on the back of the Queen's death, which catapulted Charles to be King of England and Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland, Great Britain, and put an awful lot of pressure on William, who was then next in line. I'm sure in turn this then had an impact with regards to their marriage, and just the pressure. I'm being shown a pressure cooker energy of that came to the boil, exacerbated by the fact that then King Charles also has been diagnosed with cancer. And again, probably William's fear is not just for his father's life, but equally for the shoes that he has to fill should something happen to Charles. Okay, so yeah, we've read on that. I've also done 3 videos, I think now, on what I'm calling the Return to Camelot. I haven't finished that series yet. It's probably going to turn into a much bigger piece of work in time. And I have deliberately not placed Catherine within a potential timeline and future that I'm seeing, which is a return to a Camelot energy led by what will be King William at some point, because I still can't quite see where Kate fits. And that is concerning, and it is something that is worth discussing. Why are we feeling she might not be there beside him? Is it just due to maybe the marriage ending at some point? Is it due to the fact that she literally might not be here? Is it the fact that she wants to walk away from the monarchy? Or is it just all smoke and mirrors, and at the moment we can't quite see the truth, and she will reappear? We've been promised that she will reappear around Easter time, and then there will be a continuing, journey towards better health, and she will join him as Britain's future queen. That, I hope, still can happen. But there is a lot of weird stuff going on with this story, and we can't escape from that fact. I'm not going to go down into the lowest depths of the timelines that some people are scraping at the moment. I also think it's very unethical to be remote viewing around somebody at this time who is in a desperate situation, because I do believe she has a considerable uphill battle to regain her health, both physical and mental. She does require space, but equally she is Britain's future queen, and questions are rightfully being asked. So in that light, I am going to come back on and say a little bit more. Those of you outside of the UK, you might not realise that there is a press embargo in place. So the media are effectively not really discussing at all what has been wrong with her, what her condition is, hasn't been revealed. There has been no, well, we'll come to that, it's controversial. There's no real photograph, I don't think, that's maybe come out. Well, no, let me go back a stage. She hasn't been sighted in public since Christmas Day. There have been 2 photographs recently, over the last week, released. One was a very strange photograph of her mother driving through Windsor with a Kate lookalike beside her. I don't think any official source actually came out and said this is Kate Middleton's mother with Kate. It was more just that a photograph was taken of the mother and this woman, and people assumed it was Kate. Equally, how that photograph even got released is another mystery. But it certainly didn't look like Kate. She had a much fuller face. It could be the case, of course, that she is on some sort of medication that has made her face bloat up. No, I do not believe she's had any form of cosmetic surgery. That is a definite no. But yeah, she could have had medication that's made her face bloat. But I think more likely is the fact that it wasn't Kate at all, and it was probably the sister, Pippa Middleton, with her mother driving through Windsor on that particular day. And Pippa has a different face shape to Kate, different hairline, different jawline, fuller face. It looks like Pippa to me. But I think people have jumped to the conclusion that it was Kate because we've not seen her for weeks. So that was the first thing. That's just my impression of what that photograph was about. Then we had the whole Mother's Day photograph that got released and then retracted. A lot has been said about that online. I shared the photograph myself on my Facebook and Instagram pages. And interestingly, a few days later got a warning that my accounts would be monitored and my posts moved down into lesser positions so people can't find them if I didn't remove the photograph. I know that hasn't happened to everybody, but I would just hazard a guess that that might also be because I'm shining a lot of light and maybe I'm quite close to the truth of what I'm talking about here. Not the only one, but that did happen as well. But anyway, so yeah, the photograph, Mother's Day photograph got put up. Then I suppose that there were 13 edits that somebody had done to this photograph, and something called a kill notice came out. I've never heard of a kill notice before, but the Associated Press put forward a kill notice on this photograph, asking for it to be removed and not used by all other media agencies. Kate Middleton then comes out and apologises in a written statement, says it was her fault, she did it, she'd edited it to try to make it look better, I guess. They're refusing to release the official photograph, and that's sort of where we're at. I don't want to focus too much on the whole photo thing because I think it's the least interesting aspect of what I have to say today. But I will just say, for those of you that are not on my Instagram and Facebook page, that I did make this point. And I'm just going to read the post because trying to paraphrase a post, which I think is quite succinct and good, is not going to work. So this is what I wrote a couple of days ago with regards to the Mother's Day photograph. What we should be asking is not what I have seen anyone asking. In a world and media of mass-produced, Photoshop, edited, tweaked photos that have to go through multiple edits before they ever grace our magazines, and in a world of doubles and stand-ins passed off as real, and in a world of growing AI already used for marketing and product photos, why now is this one photo pulled in an unprecedented step? Whoever heard of a kill notification before for a photo? Pisces new moon was very veiled energy, and I suspect whatever is going on with William and Kate behind the scenes, this has far more to do with an almighty battle for power regards who controls and distributes our news and mass media. If you think mainstream media isn't in panic and freefall, you are wrong. The fight for dominance across media is being played at top level by shadowy figures we will never see. Because I'm sorry, but in a world of overt digital manipulation of images, which start at micro level with us filtering ourselves, the moral indignation at a photograph having been edited by powers that think nothing of using staged shots, paparazzi shots, is laughable. I really believe that. And we know there are many edited photographs out in the news, including it has to be said of, for example, Harry and Meghan. But no one's calling that out. So why this shot? Why does it have to be killed? And that choice of word killed is a horrible one as well. The other thing I just want to say, just to bring you up to speed with where I'm at with all of this, and again, I'm just going to read this post out because I haven't got time to paraphrase it. I put this up yesterday. This is a hypothesis with regards to what I feel might potentially also be going on with the royal family per se. And I'd just like you to think about this, and then we're going to get to Kate, okay? So I said, I'm just going to hypothesize something and plant a seed. I'm not saying I'm 100% sure on it all, but there is an aspect which rings true. Powers that were, i.e. the hidden powers that we don't see, the people that actually are above our governments, that are the faceless people we don't see in the newspapers. Okay, that's what I mean by powers that were. People that pull the strings that are hidden. These powers that were basically want homogenization of nations, reduced national identity, and a conglomerated mass consciousness, where everyone thinks the same, cultures start to look the same, and mass compliance is name of the game. Britain has always been different due to its island status. We have a royal family. We left Europe with Brexit. We refused to give up our currency for the euro. We were one of only a few countries that didn't introduce vax passports or compulsory jabs for the majority. Also, after I wrote this, Britain has also just introduced a landmark ruling where puberty blockers are banned for children in clinics. Okay, so that's a landmark case that's also just happened, breaking with the rest of the world. So I say our monarchy, whether you are a lover or a hater, is the largest and most well-known in the world. It's what defines and makes Britain British for many outside these island shores. Tourists flock to the royal palaces and soak up the associated culture and history. The Queen's death left a big hole and an opportunity for perceived weakness in its continuity to be exploited. It's often said that the royals, e.g. Charles, are paid-up members of the WEF, World Economic Forum, with all their agendas and more. But have you ever considered that in every organisation, including the WEF, there will be light and dark players? Do not assume that every member is dark. Change within anything has to come from within, and light workers are planted everywhere, including in the WEF. What if this is an attack on the whole royal family itself? The desire to eradicate and diminish them one by one. I will even go so far as to say, what if, hold on, I've lost my place. I will even go so far to say as, what if the dose, this is contentious, so don't get triggered if you don't agree with it, but it's something I want to say. What if the doses of vax given to Kate, William and Charles, the three that are the future, were tampered with and particularly potent, not saline? A power battle, a wipeout event, orchestrated to bring the UK to its knees, going for the very thing that defines it. Of course, if you believe the royals are the darkness, you won't agree with my theory, and that's okay. But what if what I am suggesting is real? It's certainly food for thought, and I will leave you with that. Now, I nearly turned the comments off on that post. I put it up on Facebook and Instagram, and I was overwhelmed with people saying, my God, that resonates and rings true. This does feel like an attack on the family itself. Charles ill, Catherine ill, William having a wobble, Sarah ill. There's a lot that's going on. So I think that's where we're at. I think that's where we're up to. I would like to now, at 19 minutes, get to the new bits, all right? So I will timestamp this. But I had to just go over all that old stuff because I've got a lot of new people that are joining me as well. Thank you very much. Welcome. You're really welcome here. Right. These are just sort of things that have come to me that I'd like you to consider. I will also pull some cards on Kate. Number one. Okay, how do we put this? There is, within the collective, a post-traumatic stress disorder wound. And it is to do with a fear of a cycle repeating. So with Kate, the PTSD wound is Kate is going to become another Diana. What happened to Diana is going to happen to Kate. I would go so far as to say in America, it would also manifest in a different way. If you look at somebody like RFK Jr, would that repeat as well? There's a PTSD wound in the generation that saw it and went through it with regards to JFK's death and RFK's death. Okay, it's like, would history repeat itself if a Kennedy was ever again to find themselves in a position of real power and influence in the White House? Okay, so it's not just the Diana Kate thing. You can also see this reflected in other places. We're at times, aren't we, where we are being asked to let go of cycles. That just because something happened to your mother or your grandmother, or you have a history of, I don't know, addiction or infertility or whatever it is, or debt in your family line, you know, we're all poor, we're all ill, we all get this. We're wanting to try to heal that whole cycle so that generations don't inherit the issues of their forefathers. So at a micro level, we're being asked to do that. That what happened to your mother, what happened to your father, what happened to your aunt, what happened to your great-grandmother doesn't have to happen to you. You are not your mother. You are not your father. You're not any of them. You're your own person, and you're here to try to break the chain. Yeah? So too, at a collective level, this PTSD wound we've got, which is like, oh my God, it's happening again. And I did say in one of my earlier videos, we can't afford to lose another Princess of Wales, and I stand by that. Because I was feeling into that fear energy. It's like we can't let this happen again. But equally, obviously the players involved have a responsibility to clear their own wounding and any karmic energies, and we'll come to that in a moment with Kate. But so too, if you understand the way the micro and the macro work, you know that they both interact with each other. So if you've got a world looking on at Kate thinking, oh my God, she's the new Diana, it's all going to happen again, we can help to manifest that. And I guarantee that the vast majority of you watching this don't want that to happen again. Kate is a beautiful woman. She's a woman in her own right. She's a mother to 3 children. She's Britain's future queen. She can play a most positive, amazing role going forward. If they've got problems in their marriage, who knows? It's not really our business, but let's hope they can repair them, that they can come back together again. But if you've got a collective energy out there, like a collective umbrella over these two, but over her in particular, which is like it's going to happen again, we are helping to bring that timeline in. So can we please stop, is the first thing I would say. Okay, really, we need to stop that. And we need to be envisaging her healthy and whole and well and happy and living her best life without any attachment to what that means. So even though, yes, there's a part of me that would like to see her as Britain's future queen, I also, above all else, want what's best for her. And I said in a previous video, we have to also be grown up enough to let go of the fairy tale that if something's gone wrong between her and William, that is between her and William. In the same way marriages up and down the country run into problems. There can be unfaithfulness, there can be all sorts of things that go on, but we don't throw stones and judge every single person whose marriage has broken down. Worst case scenario, okay? So it's about wishing the best for them, but equally letting go of the fairy tale. And I have, as I say, I've talked about this previously. We did it with Charles and Di. We wanted the fairy tale. It didn't end well. Let's not do that again to another couple. Let's ultimately, as spiritually mature people, wish the best for both of them, for William and for Kate, whatever that means, with no strings attached. So that's the first thing I wanted to say, because I heard that very clearly. There's a post-traumatic stress disorder wound in the collective. They're just in fear that it's happening again. And if there is a potential that it can happen again, we're going to fasten that timeline by worrying about it, okay? All my teachings are about let go of fear. The more you fear something, the more you focus on something, the more likely it is to happen, okay? So really need to try to not do that. And how we can help her in many ways is obviously sending good wishes her way, but I also feel as though I want to direct the energy of Quan Yin to her. Now, I have got a video coming out in the next week or so. It's scheduled to come out when I'm away with Quan Yin. And actually yesterday I just got the Quan Yin little pocket oracle deck. I'm going to take it away with me on holiday. But should we just pull a card for Kate from this Quan Yin deck? Because Quan Yin is known as the goddess of mercy and compassion. Now the cards are a bit stuck together, so let me just give them a good shuffle, because it's a new deck, and see what we get for Kate. Okay, what card do we get for Kate? So Quan Yin, bringing in the energy of compassion and mercy, whatever it is that she needs. We've got the Veil of Shadows. Oh, wow, this is amazing. It says, a lotus blossoms from the deep, rich mud into which she plunges her roots and draws great nourishment. From this mud, made of water and earth, growth happens. Hold on a minute. And great beauty is revealed. Your soul lotus thrives in the depth of emotion and the aliveness of your body, into which she can plant herself and unfold as a lotus of light. So Kate as the lotus flower. The lotus flower has to push its way up through mud. What is she in at the moment? She's up to her neck in mud, in smears, in gossip, in innuendo, in probably bad health as well. But, you know, and that's not a judgment. It's just we're allowed to get unwell as human beings. It happens to the best people. She's going through a huge dark night of the soul. She's going through the veil of shadows. That says the veil of shadows, okay? So she's the lotus flower. So Quan Yin is a perfect energy to bring to her, okay? Quan Yin is known as the Mother Mary of the East. And those of you that wish to send Kate healing, really ask for Quan Yin to be with her. And Quan Yin will ride in through Kate's windows, wherever she is, on the back of a dragon and help her. And of course, Catherine is the Princess of Wales. Wales is linked to the dragons. But I'm blown away by that. Wow, because I've not even used these cards before. So I'm going to take that one, actually. It's on the bottom of the deck. These are nice cards. I'll just show you the image of the card, and then we will... I can read what's on the back as you look at it. It says, Sweeping Sister Willow. It says, here is healing that brings with it forgiveness and the release of old pain. As Sweeping Sister Willow gracefully sweeps away any sadness and pain from your heart and soul. Your time for greater inner freedom is dawning, and the cleansing of sadness and healing of forgiveness create the pathway to that greater freedom now. You deserve this freedom, and you're swiftly becoming ready to claim it. Beautiful. She's got so many feminine guides around her. And I tell you what, Whether this was planned or not, I don't think it was, but her re-emergence, and let's hope it is a re-emergence at Easter, that's what's been promised. I don't know whether it's going to be delayed, but if she does re-emerge at Easter, think about the significance of that. Easter is about resurrection and new beginnings. It's about throwing off the bloody shroud, okay? The shroud of death. Death of the old way, death of the old person. And it feels like it feels as though Kate is entwined with a resurrection of the divine feminine energy in this country. But my God, she's taking some slings and arrows. And, we really do need to wish her well. So beautiful cards there from Quan Yin. Okay, what else have I written down here? I keep picking up the energy of Queen Victoria. Now, Queen Victoria she reigned for 63 years, okay? I found out last night that actually she came to the throne on the 20th of June, 1837. Those of you that have been following my Camelot Avalon videos about Arthur and King Arthur, I've been talking about the number 20 as being significant. So Queen Victoria became queen on the 20th. But anyway, that's an aside. Why I'm picking up Queen Victoria's energy is that feels as though there's a similarity here in that Queen Victoria, even though she was a very successful queen, she actually withdrew from public life for years, following the death of her husband, Albert. Not saying William's about to die, but it's just she was in a period of intense sadness and mourning and couldn't face people. She couldn't face the world. She retreated actually to somewhere quite near me, the Isle of Wight, just over the channel there, or just across the channel rather. She was a recluse. She secluded herself away for years. She could not face the public, and during that period, there was a growing clamour for the Republican movement. It was like, why do we need a monarchy? We can't even see our queen. Where the hell is she? But anyway, she did eventually reappear. And then she lived out the rest of her reign in public, and, her legacy is pretty much assured. So there's something here about that. I said before that Catherine is carrying a queen wound. And I still stand by that, but I hadn't picked up the Victoria energy. So there's something, because I also believe she was Catherine of Aragon. So the thing about Catherine of Aragon, I'm not saying Kate was Victoria, but I feel Kate was Catherine of Aragon. I'm just being given a piece of information here. You see, I call her Kate, and that triggers lots of people. But here in the UK, lots of us call her Kate. I just like the name Kate, and it links me to her in a more personal way. But I'm now being told this thing about call her Catherine. She's going to be Queen Catherine. It's like a name that has resonance, which isn't good, because Catherine of Aragon was the queen who again was exiled. Her marriage to King Henry VIII was made null and void, and she lived out the rest of her life in seclusion, in exile. But she also maintained great strength and integrity and resilience, and she always still saw herself as a queen, but it wasn't a particularly happy life. So this thing about call her Catherine, all this stuff about why you're not calling her Catherine, Catherine's her name. At some level, and she might not even be aware of this, but in the same way I said to her, take off that ring, that ring that was Diana's, it's not doing you any good. The Catherine energy isn't good for her. It takes her back into this Catherine of Aragon energy. That's really interesting. Thank you, Spirit, for giving me that piece of the jigsaw. So, she probably is going to be called Queen Catherine if she becomes queen, but I think calling her Kate, it's as though it's a key into another part of her soul and her essence. And it's important that we also see her as Kate. So good for Britain that a lot of us still call her Kate. But yeah, Catherine of Aragon lived in relative seclusion after her marriage was deemed null and void. Queen Victoria, after Albert died, she literally retreats from view. Nobody sees her. And she was very publicly criticised for that, for her absence. Where are you? Can you see that cycles feel as though they're sort of repeating here? Now, I know Kate's only been absent for a few months, but I do feel as though we're going to be seeing less of her because, frankly, I feel this is best case scenario that she's recovering and she's getting stronger. It's still going to take a long time. And I feel as though there's an ongoing health issue with her that she's going to have to manage for a long time. I hope I'm wrong. I hope she just bounces back like Tigger with the smile that we all know and love, but that there are some genuine health concerns long term around her, not just short term. I feel mental and physical. So she might just not be strong enough to, you know, be out there smiling and doing everything she's expected to do every day, with the flack that comes with it. Okay. So the Queen Victoria thing I've talked about us letting go of the fairy tale. Another aspect of it I find quite interesting is that pre all of this drama, I've always quite liked Kate and William. Well, I do, I like them, but a lot of people out there were like, oh, they're a bit dull, you know, who cares? And I know a lot of people love them, but there was also an energy of they're a bit dull. This has, maybe not in the way they wanted it to, but there's that phrase, isn't there, that any publicity is good publicity. It's the truth, because it reignites interest, it rejuvenates. The one thing that the royal family needs to have going for them is that they're still talked about, they're still discussed, people are still interested. As soon as people switch off and they're just completely irrelevant, then it's game over. Well, this was a few days ago, but I saw something, I think it was about Prince William. I don't know whether it was his Kensington Palace website, it might have been, but whatever he'd put up officially on some sort of official page, it just had 2 million views in hours. You know, it's like unheard of for a royal post or something like that to be garnering so much interest. Now, even if you think that interest is gossip and curiosity and it's not particularly positive, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So it is getting people back invested actually in them. And again, best case scenario, they've come out happy, well, healthy. It's going to do them a lot of favours in the long run. But we're not there yet. We're certainly not there yet. Right, I'm going to go to some cards now. And I'm going to ask the first question from this deck, which is the Spirit Song Tarot. And I've just used in a reading to come out shortly for spring equinox. So Kate is supposed to be re-emerging around about spring equinox, or a week or so afterwards, Easter. All right, so a card just dropped out before I've even done anything. And we've got the Seven of Pentacles, which says options and results. Options and results. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Ace of Shells, which says happiness and abundance. I will go back and ask the question because I didn't even ask a question. These cards just dropped out. But I just want to see what animal that is. Is it an armadillo? I don't know whether it is an armadillo or not, but let's just see if the deck actually tells me what it is. So the Seven of Crystals. The Seven of Crystals, of course, would be... well, what would they be? Oh, no, it's not. It's an aardvark. Right, it's an intuitive aardvark. So an intuitive aardvark overcomes stumbling blocks that would otherwise prevent him from obtaining his goals. Intently exploring his pathway, he knows how to sniff out what's best for him or her. When facing friction, he roots around to find solutions and pauses and reflects before choosing the wisest road to travel. Remain patient and acknowledge all you've achieved thus far. Evaluate the results of your past choices and concentrate on your strengths while reviewing the life you're building. As you work towards manifesting your aspirations, remain confident that your efforts will prove rewarding. I really like that card for Kate. Kate's a Capricorn, so she's tough. She is tough. By the way, I want to just say something I forgot to say on this card of the Veil of Shadows and the mud. It talks about from this mud made of water and earth. That's William and Kate, you see, because Kate is earth and William is water. So from the mud of water and earth, the Lotus appears. Anyway, let's go back to Seven of Crystals. So this is Kate sniffing around in the nicest possible way to try and work out her best route back. Okay, what's the best route back? And this was on the bottom of the deck, which is the Ace of Shells. It's the turtle, which has its home on its back. So I've been this recluse. I'm recovering. I'm okay at home. I'm happy at home. I'm you know, let's leave out the whole thing with William at the moment. It's just, I feel safe at home. Whatever home is to her, whether home is with her mother, whether home is with her children, whether her home is with William, I don't know. But there is a place where she feels safe at the moment. The turtle has got its shell on its back. I feel safe here. But I've got to be a bit like the aardvark. I've got to sniff out the best route back, because somehow I have to try and make this work. I have to try and make my life work. Okay. Oh gosh, come on. The Hermit is the next card. The Hermit is the next card on the bottom of the deck. Okay, the koala bear. And koalas, am I right in saying, Australian followers, that the koala likes to sleep a lot in the tree? And in fact, the koala can go to sleep hanging from a branch or something like that. So it's like I've been doing a lot of sleeping. You know, I've been in recovery. I've been doing a lot of contemplating. I've been the hermit. And this koala is just like cheekily peeking out from the branches, okay? Yeah, is it safe to come back out yet? Is it safe to come out? Okay, I'm going to have to just keep going on, because the next card on the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Feathers. That's her, perception and truth. Perception and truth. I want to come out and say my truth. I want to, you know, she's aware that there's all these different perceptions of her right now out here in the world. I'm going to be the Queen of Feathers. I'm going to be the one that comes out, and that looks a bit like a bat. Bat is linked into dark night of the soul. I've been in this hermit phase, dark night of the soul. I've been safe in my cocoon. I've got to sniff out what's the best way back. Yeah. Okay, right. Well, maybe the cards have answered the question, but I am just going to ask it what I wanted to say, which is, how does she feel about coming back out around Easter time? And I want to say about Easter time, because I do wonder whether there might be a bit of slippage. I mean, if there is, that's going to just set everybody off again. So if she can make an appearance around Easter, and if you ever watch this video, Kate, try to do it, okay? Even if you've got to be wheeled out in a wheelchair, even if you have to sit on a garden bench with a blanket over you, even if you have to come out not looking your best, nobody cares about what you look like, okay? People just want you to be okay. It would be better, even if you don't look your best, just to show your face, because that would also bring so much compassion for you and love, and people will be able to see you've been through a battle. You don't have to come out looking perfect. But she's unfortunately got this energy about her, which is, I have to be perfect. I have to look perfect. It has to look okay. But that's part of what she's having to let go of in this dark night of the soul. Okay, so anyway, let's just see. How is she feeling? What was the question I wrote down? How does Kate feel about her Easter return? Okay. Okay, the first thing I'm feeling is a great big wobble. You know, I'm feeling like nerves. I'm feeling a lot of nerves, a lot of hesitancy. This is Metatron trying to lighten the energy up a bit. Her mother used to be an air hostess, I'm sure I'm right in saying that. And she was mocked for that, actually. I think she was, you know, when she came out, people were like, doors to manual was the thing people used to say about her mother, which was very unkind, really. But Metatron's not being unkind here, but he's showing an air hostess type energy who is getting things ready to land safely, okay? Or maybe there's something in this. The mother is helping Kate prepare to land back safely. Kate, I'll pull a card on the mother in a minute, but the mother behind the scenes is helping her daughter get back ready. It's almost the energy of, like, you know, mums when they're trying to get their daughter to get ready for a prom. Part of the perfection energy that Kate's got is coming from her mother. You know, that you've got to look a certain way, you've got to, all of that. Kate, you need to let go of that. That's your mum's stuff. You don't have to keep that cycle going. I know you're a future queen, and I know we live in a very cruel social media age where if you have a hair out of place, people comment. But so bloody what? You would do so much for the sisterhood, my love, by just coming out, warts and all, looking ragged round the edges, looking like you've been through the mud, and women all over the world would just fall in love with you over again. Really feel that. Don't know whether she will, but that's what that would do so much, wouldn't it, for the sisterhood. I'm really getting choked up in my voice, just feeling that energy, that potential, that potentiality. Let's put it out there. Come out with your roots showing, Kate. Come out with some battle scars. Show your vulnerability. She's never been allowed to show her vulnerability. She's never been allowed to show her vulnerability. I don't think in her marriage either. Right, how do you feel, Kate, about coming back? Your Easter return, right. We've got the Shaman, card number 5. Now, card number 5. I just need to go to the deck. I've had a blip in terms of what that usually is in most decks. What is it in most decks? It's the Major Arcana, card number 5. I will read the actual message from this deck, but I just want to see. Sorry, I can't edit this bit out. I haven't got time. I got a pack case. Major Arcana 5. Oh, it's the Hierophant. Oh, okay. Right, that makes sense. It's the Hierophant, usually. So that's the card of government, law, order, royalty. I have to show my face. I'm the Hierophant. But in this deck, it's called the Shaman. Can you see that? It says eagle, and it's got the eagle. It says, eagle is the courageous collector of spiritual knowledge. He holds the ability to connect to higher spirit teachers, rising above and beyond the material world. Eagle thrives in the realm of spirit, yet remains fixed in the realm of earth. Sharp-sighted, rational thought, moving gracefully through the skies, eagle will teach you how to conserve and use your own energy wisely, demonstrating that you can remain grounded while soaring towards divine wisdom. Eagle will assist you in refining your own spiritual power, which will increase your ability to rise above any challenge. Break free from traditional structure. It's got, I'm going all cold around my head. I've got a real cold energy all around here. I mean, it's spirit. It's just spirit. Oh my God, there's a new energy coming in. She's helping to shatter the old structures of governance, royalty, what it was, what it will be. This is powerful stuff. She's powerful, Kate. It's like we've all underestimated her. We've all underestimated her. Divine wisdom and spiritual power. She's being guided by the eagle. I have to say the King of Shells is on the bottom of the deck, which would be William, which is harmony and integrity. I'm quite glad to see that. So here's the seahorse. Now, isn't there something about seahorses mating for life? I think I'm right in saying that. Seahorses being very loyal. I think I'm right in that. And we've also got the star as well on the bottom of the deck, which is the swan. Now, that's going to lead me on to my next deck that I want to pull for her. I did pull some cards off camera with regard to William and Kate a few nights ago from a deck called The Rise of the Warrior, which has quite a sort of twin flame type energy to it. And I was blown away by the messages. But I've put all the cards back in the deck and I'm going to reshuffle and I'll pull them live with you. But what it was implying is that Kate and William are twin flame energies. And if you know anything about twin flame energies, you know that twin flames go through periods of separation and they go through what's called the runner and chaser type energy. I don't like that terminology, but it is a good way of describing it, which is that one will try to run and one will try to hold on. And it felt like William was in this runner energy and Kate was in this patient energy of just holding space. Maybe has been for a while. But the reading a couple of nights ago, and I will re-pull, was showing that this was really ultimately about the rise of the divine feminine energy and about her stepping into her power. Now, I just hope that Kate doesn't have to pay the ultimate sacrifice for that. Cancel, clear, delete. I know I shouldn't bring that back in because we have a PTSD wound with regard to Diana. But, you know, the stakes are very high here. But whatever happens to Kate, however this pans out, she's a powerful part of the, like a powerful cog in the machine of the divine feminine energy rising on our planet. And that new divine feminine energy will not stand for any nonsense. So if William has been doing any nonsense, he needs to get his act together fast, or he'll end up in a permanent separation from his queen, which is what she'll always be, whether they're together or not. And then he will really regret it, okay? But again, you have to have compassion, because in a twin flame connection, which is about unconditional love, eternal love, there is always a period of runner, chaser, and separation. So let's hope they're not going into a period of separation. Let me pull some cards now from Rise of the Warrior Oracle, okay? Oh, no, before we do that, I just want to pull a card on Carol Middleton, okay? What's going on with Carol's energy towards Kate at this time? I know she loves her, but just with regards to getting back out there. We've got strength. Okay, well, we've got strength, but we've also got shadow. It's 15, the devil energy. I think it is. I think this is addiction type. I think I was correct in what I said, which is that Kate had got an issue before last Christmas with regards to, if not eating, certainly an unhealthy pattern. Many of us have issues, and there's no judgment if she did. Most people are struggling with something. We're all addicted to something, is what I'm saying, an old pattern of behaviour. Her mother's giving her strength, though. So the mother's strong. Okay, so even if the mother has got, I mean, God, I'm a mother, I've got issues, we've all got issues as mothers, we're all trying our best. So I'm not meaning to diss her mother. Her mother's strong. It's coming up as the elephant, and that feels like Ganesh energy. That's the one who will just push through the blocks and get her daughter the help that she needs if there is an addiction energy going on. We've got the Ace of Feathers as well, which is the energy of mental clarity and foundation. She just wants the best for her daughter to regain mental strength and to break free from whatever the devil energy is. Okay, right. Now let's go to this deck. I want to go down the whole Kate and William thing now again. But again, I'm just going to clear the deck and just going to ask for whatever wants to come through for the truth to be shown. And I'm going to pull 3 cards for where Kate is at this moment in time. And then we'll pull 3 cards for William. 3 cards for Kate, please. She is trying to find balance and alignment. That card to me implies big. It's the clearance of the whole light body. Bottom of the deck, we have got storm warning. And that does look a little bit like her, has to be said. But I'll clarify that because it was on the bottom. Has the storm already happened? Or is it still to come? I actually am being told it's both. So there's obviously been a tower moment in her life, in their life, but there's also another storm to come, which probably is linked into Charles and fear of the future. This looks like her. There's a fear of the future. And of course, any abdominal issue that might have happened, the abdomen is linked into the solar plexus chakra, and dependent how far down it goes, it could also be the sacral. So the solar plexus is our power center, is where we have our fear. And the sacral chakra is where we create. So there's a fear of there's just a massive fear of the future. So trying to get into balance, trying to get into alignment is where she's at the moment. I'm feeling the throat chakra in particular needing to be unblocked. It's as though she's never been able to express truly who she is and voice her opinions. You see how Kate Middleton even her voice now is not her voice. It isn't. It's not how she used to sound. She didn't used to sound like she does now. None of her family sound like that. She's had to adopt a voice. Now, I'm not going to judge that. I remember when we moved up to Yorkshire as very small kids, and I got mocked because I had a southern accent, and I was in a school with a lot of, farming children and stuff like that, and they had broad Yorkshire accents. And I responded by thinking, well, I'm sorry, I'm not changing. You know me, I'm a bit stubborn. And I just ignored the taunts of, your southern whatever. My brother, he might not like me saying this, but he did the opposite. He will say to this day, he adopted a broad Yorkshire accent to fit in. And now he's really broad. It's not at all forced. It is who he is. But the point I'm trying to make is that people, will do different things to fit in. What she did to fit into the royal family is adopt a voice that fits in with them, but it's not really her voice. She didn't really sound like that. So Kate, let's hear your voice is what I want to say. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, we've got this card upside down. And can you see what it says? It says, listen to the voice within. And it's the inner child. She's never, I think there's some very deep inner child wounding with her, going way back, which is private, really. But it's linked into not having been heard. It's as though she's on this, her whole life has been this forward, fast-moving train. She's never been able to stop and think and even negotiate what would be to happen. And where that force has come from and who's running the engine, I don't know. Maybe it's destiny. But she's just at a point in her life now which is just like, I have to stop. And I have to show who I really am. Okay, so we've got 3 cards for her there. So this is about healing. She's healing. She's still healing. Oh my God, I love this card. I can't believe this has just fallen out. Oh, it's a beautiful deck, this. People who get the twin flame energy, look at this card. It says, meet me on the bridge. Love is about meeting somewhere in the middle. That's her and William. They haven't been doing that. I think William's probably been steamrolling her, steamrolling ahead, tunnel visioned. I'm going to be king. I have to prepare to be king. Over and above anything else that might be going on with their marriage, third parties. This is a beautiful card. This is a card of potential reconciliation between them. And I love this card that follows it. Throw caution to the wind, your dreams lie behind it. Now, you could say that that's her just running as fast as possible away from him and the family. But remember, she's a mother. She's got 3 children. You can't ever really run from the father of your children. And I'm not saying that has to be the interpretation of this card either. This is smashing, what I call smashing through the glass ceiling. The video that I'm going to put out with Lilith, Kali Ma and Shakti energy, which will be going up next week, it talks about the divine feminine needing to smash through the glass ceiling. And this is just another way of looking at it. In fact, I was smashing through the glass ceiling, but I was actually talking about the fact that she felt, her whole life has felt as though she's just been on this moving conveyor belt, which she hasn't had the stop or the pause button for. And now she's somehow wrestled control. And she's running towards this doorway. And I mean, again, I have to say another interpretation. I don't want this to be true, but I will just put it out there, which is another interpretation could be this is the rainbow bridge, okay? The rainbow bridge in spirit, and this is the doorway to another realm. Let's hope that's not the case, because if, worst case scenario, at some point she's physically not here with us anymore, and she has gone through the pearly gates, she'll always be with William. She'll always be, if they're twin flames, she'll always be with him. Meet me on the bridge. Love is about meeting somewhere in the middle. Let me just pause and have some water, please, and then we're going to pull some more cards. Can I also just reaffirm that whoever you're watching at the moment, including myself, no one is the oracle on this. You can watch readers, you can watch teachers, people are giving perspectives. We're not there, we don't know. So be very careful about what you say and what you share. I want to say at this point that these are perspectives that I'm sharing with you. We don't ultimately know. We're being given glimpses into potential timelines and truths and things to consider, and being shown cycles repeating. But this is messy and clouded and veiled. So please remember that no one is the oracle on it, okay? Right. Where to go now? I hadn't pulled any cards for William, had I? So let's just pull some cards for William. Where is he with regards to Kate? Where is William with regards to his marriage, please? And we're going to pull 3 cards. Where is William with regards to his marriage? We've got the card of protection and clear your energy field. So this is implying that there's been, I've said this before as well, some form of attack, psychic attack, spiritual attack. This is William protecting, defending, clearing negative energy. That's one interpretation. Another interpretation could be that he's trying to clear up the mess that maybe he created in part. I don't know. Let's see what goes with it. It says clear your energy field, protection. It could also be that how he is behaving is the result of psychic attack as well. That is very possible. Particularly if he's behaving out of character. Because he's actually being asked to clear your energy field. He needs to clear his energy field. I very much doubt he's got a smudging stick, but William, you need to go and get a smudging stick. You need to get one of my sprays. Step out as the real you. We've got the divine masquerade going on. Step out as the real you. So again, he's hiding behind something a little bit. He's hiding a bit. It's a game of charades. You see, the truth is, on Twitter last night, or X, even though I know I shouldn't still be looking at it, I want to come off it. But it's an addiction, just being honest. There was a hashtag trending last night, which was I stand with Catherine. I stand with Catherine. We just can't help it, can we? We cannot help it as a species. Because the truth is, maybe he hasn't been happy in the marriage either. I don't personally believe that happy people cheat on their partners. If he has cheated at all, I'm still not convinced he has. But say he had. If you're that happy, you don't. I know some people will come at me for that, but I believe that to be true. Maybe he's having to put on a game of charades, that he hasn't been happy for quite a long time either. We know he hasn't been particularly happy about stepping into the role of king, okay? But he's doing his best to fulfill his destiny, because William, whether you like it or not, you signed up for it at soul level. There's It's like a Michael Jackson energy with that card. Can you see it? Reminds me of Michael Jackson. Now, Michael Jackson and Princess Diana were known to be friends and were in awe of each other. Maybe it's just Michael Jackson's trying to help in spirit. I don't know what that is. I'm going to go and get my MJ Man in the Mirror spray. Hold on. Oh, I'm realising what I've done. MJ Man in the Mirror spray. I'm asking him to change his ways. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. Oh, that's powerful. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. The thing is, you see, William is probably surrounded by yes men and yes women. He's the heir. He can do no wrong. But this is a moment of reckoning for him. He's starting to realise he has to change his ways. That doesn't... And that could mean all sorts of things, okay? It could mean all sorts of things. It could mean the way he squeezes his toothpaste in the morning annoys the hell out of her. Or it could be something a hell of a lot deeper, you know? But there's definitely a... oh, okay, well that explains it, yeah. He's look at that, we've got... It says distorted energy, focus on your heart, not your head. William's been in his head. William has been... he's a Cancerian, but he hasn't been in his heart. With regards to Kate, anyway, he's been too caught up in his head, the rational mind, making plans. I mean, some of which he has to do. He's a future king. He can't just be completely in his heart the whole... Well, you know what I'm trying to say. You need heart and head combined. He needs to come back into his heart. There's definitely something about his energy that's off at the moment. Distorted energy and protection, clear energy field. There's an influence around him that's really not positive, or there's energy that's being directed at him that's really not positive. So we need to help him with that. Violet flame energy. Clearance energy. Let's see the state of the energy between the two of them. Well, we've got karma, we've got and twin flame. I didn't even know there was a twin flame card. And we've got heartbroken. Right, okay, let's take them one by one. We've got karma. This is a twin flame relationship, as I just was speculating, and now we've got the card sort of saying yes. And look, it's the seahorse again. And we had that coming through already. We had the seahorse for William earlier. Here we go, King of Shells. Seahorse. A connection like no other, but there's karma involved in this. There's karma between them that needs to be cleared. We've also got the card of heartbroken. Wisdom comes from healing the heart. They're definitely in a separation type phase of their twin flame journey. Whether or not they stay together, I don't know. Let's see what it says about this karma card. It's Master number 55 is the karma card. Master number 11 is the twin flame. As I say, these are big energies that we're playing with here, or they're playing with. Vishnu is the preserver and protector of the universe and is the supreme enforcer of karma. According to the law of karma, whatever thoughts or energy you put out, you get back. So in order to get what you want, you have to embody and be worthy of those things. It's the concept of reap what you sow. I don't know if this is past karma, though. I'm wondering whether it's karma that's being accumulated now, if someone's done something wrong. going to pull one more card from this deck. I'm not even going to ask a question. Is there any other card that wishes to come out right now with regards to Kate and William? Self-love, take time to heal. We've got the joy of spring, new beginnings as well. So there is hope. But, I mean, that's lovely. That's such a lovely card. Look at that. The card of self-healing and self-love. That's very much Kate. But it's William too. If they're twin flames, they're mirroring each other. They are mirroring each other. And that's why this whole thing about I'm Team Kate, I'm Team William, it's so silly because they're one. They're one. Right. How are we doing? 1 hour and 9 minutes. I think we're pretty much there. But let me just see if there's anything else that I can pull out of this reading for you. I will pull a card from the Avalonian deck with regards to Kate. Wisdom of Avalon. Okay. The bee. That's nice. Luck, industriousness, and sweet victory is what she gets, the bee. And on the bottom of the deck, we've got love, and we've got some old steps. They make me think of the pilgrimage card in my own Metatron deck, pilgrimage to love. But this is self-love as well. These steps to love look worn out, not used, dusty, strewn with leaves and overgrown weeds. There is a way back to each other. They can find a way back to each other. They can find a way back to themselves. But equally, it's about her as well. Should we see what it says about the bee? Card 16. And then I really better go and start packing, guys. It says, when the bee buzzes onto your path, it's a reminder that with hard work and firm commitment to building your dream, a sweet outcome is assured. The bee is a symbol of luck, so expect miracles and your life will be victorious and sweet. Remember that you also create your own luck. That is, effort is required as you progress along your path. The bee is an industrious, busy creature that's always making honey. The bee gets busy and that honey will soon be yours. The bee is always a fortunate omen. So there's some good omens around her, you know, despite all of the negativity that's out there online and what people are saying. We had the aardvark sniffing around, what's the best way to come back in. We've got the seahorse energy throughout this whole reading. There is no doubt she has been through it. You know, the mud that this lotus flower is trying to rise through is the stickiest, dirtiest, horriblest that you can imagine. But what's showing here is that she will bloom, she will get through it. And the relationship with William definitely has twin flame vibes. And whatever goes on there is part of the path that they're on together. I didn't actually pull a card for her health. Let's just do that. As of today, I've got the Four of Crystals and the Emperor. Okay, well, that's good. That looks as though things are stabilising. And then there's the Four of Feathers as well on the bottom of the deck, which shows a mama bear. Look at that card. Shows a mama bear resting in a place of and sanctuary. I don't think she's ready to come back yet at Easter. It's our demand and our voices that are saying, show yourself. I know I sort of said it as well earlier on in this video, but really, mama bear needs her rest. Yeah, somebody else needs to look after the cubs. Somebody else needs to keep the wheels ticking over. This process she's in is She needs sanctuary. She needs rest. We're back to the Queen Victoria energy. She might just need to disappear for a while. But in a world right now where you can't do that, you know, because otherwise, oh my God, that means this and it means that, and everything is scrutinised, it's going to be very hard for her to do that. But they're good cards to end on. Double four, 4 and 4, 4 of crystals, 4 of feathers. The otter, which is about play. And it's, the otter is also linked into mothering and the divine feminine energy as well. I know that because it's just come up in another reading that I'm about to post. Mother otters actually shove the dad otters out of the nest. And mother otters are the ones that teach their children how to swim. It's a very primordial energy, the otter. So leave this woman to rest and recover. Will people? No. Oh, it's 3 4s. It's 3 4s. The 4 is the Emperor is a 4. 3 4s. 4 4 4. Oh, come on, the angels are with her. Look, the Emperor, card number 4. 4 of feathers, Mama Bear. 4 of crystals, control and security. This is like the fences around wherever she is, barricades are up, you can't see her. The whole world can go crazy, you can't see her. Mama Bear is resting. Think about that. The divine feminine energy is resting. Leave her alone. She'll emerge from the lotus when she's ready. Let's wish her well. Let's wish her well. Please spread this message far and wide to cancel out a lot of the other negativity that's out there right now, which is doing so much damage to the collective psyche and to Kate and to William. And ultimately, we're hurting ourselves. So let's come back to love. Let's come back to the heart. Let's wish all of them well. Love to William. Love to Kate. Love to Charles, who's also unwell. Love to all of them. Love to everybody. Love to you. Okay, lots of love. See you soon. Please like and share the video. Thank you so much. Bye for now.